Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, my dear student, to the revision in module 4. This is the last unit. But inshallah, from next week, inshallah, we will take revision, but in details. Okay, for each unit, inshallah, we will cover it and take it in details. Okay, so follow us and join us for the next classes. Today, we will discuss module 4. It talks about what? The whole unit talks about planet Earth. Planet Earth. In the reading, in the first reading, we discuss the problems that our planet faces. And we discuss how we can save our planet. In the second reading in 4P, we discuss different species that may extinct and how we can solve this problem. We discuss animal SOS, if you remember, okay? Save our souls. It's a signal for help. And we discussed some example of these species. For the grammar, in this unit, we talk about, we discussed future in different cases. We discuss future will, future going to, future perfect, and future progressive. If we talk about future will, do you remember what did we say about it? Usually I use it in different cases. Let's take as an example for future will. I will be on time. How can I form it? Will, and then the base form, be. I will be on time. This is promise. I will be on time, don't worry. Okay, that means this is a promise. So in promise, we are going to use future will. In the second sentence, I think, I expect, I think, I guess, I believe, it may be. Okay, when I say this word, okay, that means we are not sure. When we are not sure about something, also we are going to use future will. Okay, prediction. This is a prediction. I think it will rain. I think. So I'm going to use here will because it's prediction. The third one, I will go with you. Wait. Or okay, I will go with you. So what did you understand from this? This is spontaneous decision, on a spot decision. You didn't plan for that, okay? It's in the spot decision. So you said, okay, I will go with you. The last one, I will not speak to you again. What did you understand from here? Threaten, yes, okay? Here, warning, okay? So if you do that, I will not talk with you. I will not speak with you or to you again. So this is different cases that we discuss about well. What about future going to? Future, but with using going to, not well. When can I use going to? Let's look to it. I'm going to study English. As you know, when you use going to, you need helping verb before it. You need be, am, or is, or are, according to the subject. For example, I am. He is, they are. And then going to, and then study also the base form. Why I use here going to? Or when can I use going to? When you have a plan. Okay, when you have a plan. If you plan for something or arrange for something before, okay, you are going to use going to. For example, I'm going to study English. That means you have a plan for that. You prepared yourself for that. This is one of the uses. Another use is like Look, it's going to rain. What did you understand from this? Is it, do you think, are you sure here? Is it like the first one, I think? Of course, no. Here you have evidence. So let's say you are sure here. Look, listen, look. When I see this word, that means this is evidence. So if you have evidence, you are sure. Look, it's going to rain. So here I'm going to use going, not will. What about number 3? Future perfect. Do you remember what you say about this? Future and perfect, 2 things. So future, so will. Perfect, you know, have or has or had, and verb 3 or past participle. Here, the suitable one is have. Why have? Because you have will, and after will you should have base form. The base form is have, not had, not has. Okay? So I will have finished my homework by the time you arrive. Okay? What's the meaning of by here? Before. So you will have finished this work. It's in future, not now. But in the future, you will have finished the homework before the time he arrives in. Okay? So 2 action. This action will finish before the other action in the present. I will have finished before you arrive, before the time you arrive. So that's why we call it perfect. The last one, future progressive. Progressive means ing. So how can I do it? With ing. The what's before ing? Will, because of future. So can I say I will working? Of course no. Future needs base form. How can I make the base form? By using be. I will be working. So in this way, she will be working. So you'll have will, you'll have base form be, then you'll have ing, progressive. I will be working at this time tomorrow. When I say about something like that, future progressive, I'm talking about a specific time in the future. Tomorrow, at 9 o'clock tomorrow. At this time tomorrow. You know, so you give me, you are talking about special time. In this special time, what are you going to do? You will be working at this time. So this is the different kinds of a future. Also, if you remember, we discussed if clause. You remember we have 4 kinds of if. 4 kinds. Let's take a short look for it. Number 1. We can say if or when. It's the same, if or when. And then, this is the first case. Present plus present in the both sides. In if clause and in the main clause. You have present, present. What do we call this kind? 0. Why 0? Present, present. Okay, so this is 0 conditional. Why I use 0 conditional? When I talk about general truth. Happens. Something happens, okay? Usually, it's general. It's fact. Like when I say, if you heat ice, it melts. Okay, so this is truth. When you heat ice, it melts. So you have if or when, and the clause here with or in present, heat, and the second kind or many clause also melts in the present. So present to present, 0. I'm talking about fact. Number 2, if or when plus present, but, so if clause here in the present, but the main clause will be with will or modal verb. Will. Why will? Because will is the present, not the past would. Okay? Why will? Because the present. So you have a present with if, so will in a present. And, or any modal verb, or another case, imperative. What do I mean with imperative? Do you remember? When you ask something, when you want something, okay? Order, like order. Okay, let's discuss it. Number 2, we call it conditional sentence type 1. We call it type 1. It's used for something which is what? Possible to happen, normal, probable, in the present or future. Okay, like when I say, if I see James, I will give him his book back. So if I see James, present. So I will, in the other part, I will give him. So this is something probable, okay? Or maybe happened, normal, okay? If you go to the supermarket, buy some milk. This is imperative. I ask you something. So if and the present, and then I ask you, if you go to the supermarket, bring me some chocolate or buy some milk. You know, so these, number 2. The second kind, we call it type 1. The third one, if, okay, when or past, and then would or could. So look again, if or when. The sentence here in the past, so I'm going to use also the past, not will, the past, would and could, okay? So would and could. Why? Because it's in the past. Why I use it in this way? It's used for a real or imaginary situation. It's not true, just we imagine something, and this thing may be impossible or maybe difficult. But it's not past, it's not real past, okay? So, like when I say, if I had money, I use if and then had, and complete the sentence. Had is the past. In the second one, I would, also the past from will. I would buy a farm in the country. Of course, it's difficult. I don't have that enough money to buy the country. So I just imagine, because I just imagine something difficult, so I use the past. But that didn't mean it happened really, okay? Then you could lose weight if you went on diet. But it's difficult to go on diet. So if you went on diet, you could lose some weight, okay? So we talked until now about how many kinds? 3 kinds, okay? We still have number 4, but number 4, you will have it inshallah in Traveler 4, okay? Not in this book now. Okay? Also, let's tell you something about number 3. Like when you say, students, if I were you, usually I use this way. If I were you, I would study more. So I imagine something impossible. I'm just giving you advice. Okay? If I were Shakespeare, I would do what and what. So it's difficult to happen. So I use the past and then would. Okay? Also in this unit we talk about grammar, another kind. We talk about the nouns and talk about articles, and we talk about determiners. Okay, what I mean with nouns? Countable, uncountable, articles, a and the, and determiners, some, many, a lot, and so on. We discussed, if you remember, articles, a or an, and when can I use them? A and an with something in general, or when we don't refer to a specific thing, or before occupation, he's a teacher, he's a doctor. And then also we talk about that. And when can I use talk about that? When I talk about something specially, okay, something unique, like the sun, the moon, or something specific, or already mentioned, like when I say, I bought a book and a pen. Here it's a pen. And the second time I say the, because I mentioned it in the first sentence. Also for names, for superlative, when I say the tallest, the biggest, okay? Or when it is defined by clauses, like when I say the house which, the man who. So in this way you should make it the, and so on. Also we discussed any, if you remember, any, usually I use it for what? For negative sentence, for a question. For some we discussed it also. We said it's for a positive sentence, and not any questions, just if it's offer or request. Like when I say, could I have some coffee? Would you like some tea? So this is not a question offer or request. Okay? Now, let's try to take some examples. Okay? The National Garden is like in the middle of the city, where many people go to get away for a while. What do you think the suitable one? Like what? Yes, oasis. Yes, like oasis. Like when I say usually oasis is a land in the middle of the desert. So also the National Garden is like a land in the middle of the city. So it's like oasis. Every morning, the soldier, the flag. What do they do with the flag? Which one? Raise. Yes, take something to a high position. Raise. Okay? Can I speak to Rida? If he's asleep, though, don't. What? Don't disturb him. Don't ask him. Don't disturb him. Another one. This landfill site is a health what? Hazard. Yes, problem. Is a health hazard or a problem. Tortoises are the only what that I am not afraid of. What do you think? The only, yes, reptiles. Just the only reptiles, the kind, okay? The kind of tortoise is the only reptiles that I am not afraid of. The tortoises or turtles, it's the only reptiles, okay? Species is much bigger. All things, all types, okay? The of this bottle is 1.5 liters. What do you think here? What can I use? The capacity of this bottle. Yes, it's enough for, so it's the capacity. The job requires from you specific skills and personal what? Qualities. Special things on you. How many of fuels does it take to fill up your car? How many what? Gallons of fuel. Yes. The suitable one here for measurement, gallons. In Britain has changed a lot in the past 50 years. What is the thing that has changed a lot? The climate, the weather. Lions in the wild are natural what? Predators. Do you remember the meaning of predators when we talk about the picture? The kind of animal that kill others and eat them. So lion is predators because lions kill other animals. Okay, let's go to discuss the grammar now. This time tomorrow. When I say this time tomorrow, I mention what? Which kind of progressive? This time tomorrow. So, will be playing. Why will be playing? Will and be an ing. This is a future progressive because I'm saying this time tomorrow, special time in the future. 2, we need some milk. Okay, some on my way home from work. So, I will buy some. Do you remember this one? What do you say about it? Spontaneous decision. You didn't find, so okay, I will buy some on my way. No plan here, spontaneous decision. My father painted the house this weekend. So, is going to, here future going to. I have a plan. My father prepared himself to do that this weekend. So here we have a plan. So is going to paint. Okay? Hurry, we will miss the train. We will miss the train. So what do you think? Unless we hurry. What's the meaning of unless? If we don't hurry, okay, we will miss the train. Okay, unless we hurry, we will miss the train. If I were you, I imagine, I advise you wear. So which one? Would, the best. Okay, I would take the car. Number 6, if our favorite team wins, look to F here, wins in present. wins the match that my father or dad will take. Yeah, present and future. Something normal, will take. Do you have, or do we have, what? Any sugar left? Here we have a question. In the question, I'm going to use what? Any. Do you have any sugar left? Yes, there is some in the cupboard. Can you answer, please? I'm sorry. The phone, special thing, specific. Can you answer the phone? I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables, but I don't eat much meat. Uncountable meat, much. Okay? Only people, what can I say about them? Turned up for the opening of the art gallery. It was very disappointing. So, many or few? Of course, a few. Only a few people turned up for the opening. Okay? So then we go to the writing. In this unit, don't forget, we discussed two kinds of writing. How to write an article and the outline of writing article. Okay? And how many paragraphs and these rules. Also, we discussed writing an email. Okay, how can I write the email and the important thing and paste and prompts. Okay, so we discussed all these things. So we come to the end of this revision. Inshallah, next week we are going to discuss it in details, all the units again. Okay, so thanks a lot.